Welcome back to Sketchup. We're going to make a new house, and this time we're going to make it fancier. The first thing we're going to do is get rid of the person. We don't actually need that person. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my select tool, I'm going to click on the person, and I'm going to press the delete key, not the backspace, but the delete key, and that person will go away. We don't need them anymore. So now I want you to do the same thing. Go to your Sketchup, select the person and press the delete key. Pause it and do that now. Okay. So now you should have deleted the person. The person should no longer be there. So now what we're going to do is make the bottom of the house, but we're going to do it in a new way. We're still going to draw a rectangle, but we're going to do precise measurements. I'm going to show you how to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my rectangle tool. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to start the rectangle anywhere. It doesn't matter, actually. It doesn't have to be right in the origin. So I'm going to click once. I'm going to start dragging the rectangle and I'll see the rectangle forming. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move my hand away from the mouse and I'm going to type some measurements before I click again. So I'm going to type 15 feet by 20 feet, and we're going to use the abbreviation for feet, which is a little apostrophe. So I'm going to type 15 apostrophe, then I'm going to type a comma, and I'm going to type 20 apostrophe, and you're going to see that's going to appear down at the bottom of your screen. It could be on the left or right side. It will say dimensions, and when I hit enter, my rectangle will form. So now I want you to do the same thing. Go to your Sketchup, select the rectangle tool, then you're going to click somewhere on the ground, start to drag the rectangle tool, and then type 15 apostrophe 20 apostrophe and hit enter. Pause and do that now. Okay, welcome back. So now we're going to draw another rectangle off this using the same one. So we're going to make our house a little bit fancier. I'm going to start on one corner of the house. If I move my rectangle tool over this corner, it'll say endpoint, and you'll see that it'll be green. So I'll be on the corner of my house. And I'm going to click there once, and I'm going to start to drag, and you'll see my rectangle again will form. This time I'm going to make a 10-foot by 10-foot rectangle. So I'm going to do it the same way. I'm going to type 10 apostrophe comma 10 apostrophe. I'm going to hit enter. And now I will have two rectangles. By the way, if any time you ever are trying to follow my instructions and it doesn't work, you can click edit and go to the undo button, and it will get rid of whatever you did. So what you're going to do, I want you to go and click on the corner here and start your rectangle and then type 10 foot by 10 foot. Pause it and do that. So now if you're back, you should have created another 10 foot by 10 foot rectangle. Now we're going to join these two rectangles together into a single shape, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to erase this line that's going between them, and we're going to do that using the eraser tool. We can use the eraser tool to get rid of anything, shapes, lines, anything like that. So I'm going to click on the eraser. I'm going to move over. I don't want to be on the thing. I want to be on the actual line there, and I'm going to click on the actual line, and the line should go away. Again, if you erase the wrong thing, it's not a problem. Just go back to your undo and undo it. So I want you to click on to go to SketchUp, click on your eraser, and erase the line between. Pause it and do that now. Okay, welcome back. Now you should have two rectangles that are joined together. Now we're going to use a tool we used before, which is the push-pull tool to lift the house up. But again, we're going to do precise measurements. We're going to lift the house exactly as high as we want it to be, which is we want it to be exactly 12 feet high. So I'm going to click on my push-pull tool. So now we're going to use the push-pull. So now we're going to use the push-pull tool to lift the whole house up. So I'm going to click on the push-pull tool. I'm going to click here. I'm going to start to drag up, and I'm going to type 12 feet, 12 apostrophe, and hit enter. Okay, so right now what you should do is go to Sketchup, click on your push-pull tool, start to drag up, and click 12 feet. Pause it and do that now. Okay, so we're going to come back. We're going to zoom out so we can see it a little better. We're going to pan around so we can see the roof. We can move it this way so we can see this part better. Okay, now I'm going to raise this whole thing in a V-shaped roof, but I'm going to do it in a different way than I did it before. I'm going to use my pencil tool. I'm going to start to draw a line along the top of my roof. So I'm going to click on my pencil. I'm going to find the midpoint, which is the light blue dot. You'll notice if I move along here, it's red, but when I get here, I'm on exactly the midpoint. Now I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do what's called inferencing. I want this to go to the midpoint of this line over here. So I want to trace this line to the midpoint of this line over here. And so how I'm going to do it, I'm going to click once here. I'm going to start to draw the line. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my mouse over here until I get to the midpoint here. And then if you notice that if I move the mouse back, when I have the red line, it'll say from point, and that's going to be to the exactly in line with the midpoint of the other line on the side. So I'm going to click here now. And now it's very simple to click here and then drag to the midpoint of this line, and we have them connected. So what I want you to do, I want you to, once again, you're going to start the line over here. You're going to click it once. You're going to move your mouse to here and then drag it so until you get to the end point here. So pause it and attempt that. If you make a mistake, just click your undo and try it again. Okay, now you should be back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line across here, so that's fairly simple. I'm going to click on this endpoint. I'm going to drag to here. I'll click here and I have a line, then I'll click an endpoint here and I'll drag to here and I'll have another line. So now I've got two lines going through the middle here. Now we're going to raise the roof, literally. And the way we're going to do it is by using the move tool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my selection tool, and I'm going to select two lines at the same time. So the way to do that is I click on this one line. So make sure that when you click, you have your blue line selected. Then I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and you'll see the little plus or minus sign off on the side here. That means that I can add to my selection. So now I'm going to select this blue line as well. If you select the wrong thing, you can just click on it again and it'll So now you should go and select both lines. Pause it and select both lines and then come back. Okay, so now I'm going to pan it out, and I'm going to click on my move tool. Okay, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on this endpoint once. I'm going to start to drag it up. So I'll click on it once and then I'll move up, and you'll see my line will lift. And you'll notice it says on blue axis. That means that I'm lifting straight up, which is exactly what I want. I don't want to be lifting diagonally. And then I'm going to put in the measurements of how high I want it. I'd like my raised roof to be 5 feet high, so I'll press 5 apostrophe and then enter. Okay, so right now you should click on your move tool, then click on the endpoint, start to lift it, and then put in 5 feet high. Now, okay, so pause it and do that. So Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this have a lintel around the roof, and I'm going to use a new tool to do that. And to do that, I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to pan so I'm looking from underneath the house. I'm going to use something called the offset tool. This is a new tool that we haven't used before. The offset tool looks like this, and the offset lets you select something and make a smaller, similar shape inside of it. So I'm going to use the offset tool on the whole underside of the house. So I'm going to click on the offset tool. I'm going to move to here. I'm going to select here. I'm going to select So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the thing that I have selected, so I can just click on my select tool and click somewhere away from the house so nothing is selected. And now I'm going to raise part of the house to create a lintel around it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something called the offset tool, and it's we're going to raise up part of the outside of the house. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to use my select tool. I'm going to turn around so I'm looking at the underside, my rotate tool. I'm going to turn around so I'm looking at the underside of the house. Okay? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to select a new tool. This is called the offset. The offset allows you to select part of a shape and move in or out. So I'm going to click on the offset tool. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my offset over the bottom. You'll see this will become selected. And I'm going to click one time. I'm going to start to drag in. Now we want to be precise about how much we want to do it. In this case, we want to make it go in 6 inches exactly. So I'm going to type 6. And instead of the apostrophe, I'm going to do the quote sign. So I'll hold down the shift and press where the apostrophe is. So that'll be 6 and then quotes, which is 6 inches, and then I'm going to hit enter. So everybody choose the offset tool and click on the bottom of the house once, and then start to drag it in, and then type 6 inches, and that will push it in 6 inches. Now, so pause it and do that. So now the house should be selected in 6 inches. So now I'm going to go to my push-pull tool. I'm going to take this part. This part should be selected. The stripe on the inside of the house, I'm going to click once. I'm going to start to push it up. Okay, and then I want this to be almost to the roof. The roof is 12 feet high. I want it to be 11.5 feet high, so it only goes down 6 inches. So I'm going to type 11 feet 6 inches. I'll type 11. I'll hit apostrophe. Then I'll type 6, and then I'll hit a quote mark. So that's 11 feet 6 inches, and then I'll hit enter, and it will raise the inside of the roof up 6 inches. So what you're going to do, you're going to select your push-pull tool. You will go to the stripe around the outside of the house. You'll start to push it up, and then you'll type 11 feet 6 inches. So pause it and do that. Okay, so we're going to do one more thing. We're going to make a chimney on the house, and then in the next one we'll start to add some more details around the outside. So I'm going to click on my orbit tool, so I go around and I can see the top of the house. Now, to do the chimney, it's a little bit tricky because it's not a perfect rectangle because you got a slanty roof here. So we're going to have to use the pencil. So I'm going to click on the pencil, the line tool. I can start the chimney anywhere. You'll notice I'm on the face. That means I'm on the actual face of the roof. So I'm going to click once and I'm going to start to go up. Okay. I should be on the blue axis here, which means I'm going straight up. And I'm going to type 2 feet. I want my chimney 2 feet high. So I'll type 2 apostrophe and hit enter. Okay. Now I'm going to click again and I'll start to pull this way. This time I should be on the red axis, so I should see the red line. And I'll type 2 feet again. So now we have the side of the chimney. I'm going to come around the side here. Okay. Now I want to trace this part down back to the roof. So we have to make sure that it goes all the way. So I'm going to be on the pencil. I'm going to start at the end point here. I'm going to click once here and I'm going to start to pull down. But we're not going to enter the measurement here. Instead we're going to come down until it says on face. And you'll see the dark blue dot. That means you're actually back on the roof. Right? And then last of all, we're going to connect these two lines here with the pencil. So what you should do now is pause it, go and click on the roof, draw up on the blue line, make it 2 feet high, then click on the side, draw 2 feet along the red axis, and then click and draw straight back down to the roof, and you'll have one part of your chimney. Okay, so you should have drawn a line up, a line over, and a line back down to get your chimney. So click on the orbit tool. You'll notice our chimney's flat right now. You might be able to guess what tool we need. We need the push-pull tool, so I'm going to click on this. Okay, I'm going to click once on the chimney. I'll start to pull it, and I want my chimney 2 feet this way. So I'll press 2 feet, and I'll hit enter. And now we have the start of our house, and we're going to stop the video right here. And on the next video, I'm going to show you how to start making some details around the outside of the house and make it look really pretty. So you should save your file. We're going to save it as We're going to save it in your folder, and we'll call it Practice House. And that's it. I will see you on the next video.